All praises, all honor, all glory be unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the apostle, elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and salutation to Allah Hakim, doing and pushing this word in sincerity and truth worldwide, and a sincere shalom to the elect. I'd like to get into this little lesson right here, man. It says blessing for now, you know. This is this guy named Bob Molden or Milden or something like that. Munden, okay? Gunslinger. This guy, oh man, you Jakes think you fast with a weapon. No, this nigga right here is fast with a weapon, okay? When you see what it is right here, copy it, go look it up. And there's various videos of him and other guys, other Edomites, you know, that are very much the same, man. You know what I mean? But this is his blessing. This was something that was given to him as his blessing, okay? And he's wielding it in the end of times right now, very, very precise, you know? This is his blessing, okay? 2/3 Jakes have to get that in their mind. But they don't, you know how Jakes is, right? They look at Esau, just like how 2/3 looked out and wanted and required kings, right? The same way that 2/3 look out at other nations and require what they got, okay? But they don't know they got the best, okay? So let's get into this lesson real quick, you know? It's his blessing for now, okay? Let's go into Psalms. Let's go into Psalms real quick. Psalms chapter 17 and verse 13. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, from men which are thy hand, O Yahweh, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. So this man is that whooping stick on the left hand side, okay? He is that whooping stick. He is that sword that, 2/3 Jakes, we're all guilty, right? But the Lord is using him as a whooping stick in this time, to exact, those punishments upon us, because we turned against our power, right? Doing all types of acts, and the 2/3 caught up in all types of odious acts, right? So the Lord is using him as a whooping stick. And you got to remember, when you go back to Genesis, actually, let me get that real quick. Let me go back to Genesis real quick. Genesis chapter 27 and let me start from verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shall serve thy brother. And by the sword shalt thou live, and serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Okay, so that was his blessing. That sword. Okay, modern day sword is what? Those guns, missiles. That's his weaponry, right? That's his blessing. And 2/3 Jakes think that they can outdo this man. You can't outdo this man. This man was created to be, put in that position to do those, acts upon us. And look what he did with Gad when he made the Gatling gun. Okay? Made the Gatling gun, and it mowed down, it trimmed down Gad, okay? Because they couldn't really catch up with Gad with those muskets and those other guns. But when they made the Gatling gun, they tore down, they tore down Gad, okay? But anyways, let's go into something real quick. Psalms chapter 58 and verse 2. Yea, in heart ye work wickedness, ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Okay? And this man is up in, like Habakkuk say, is up in every man's house. He is as death. He is not satisfied with blood. Okay? And what is he doing that with? He's ruling with the sword, his blessing. Okay? And these nations, they know it too, you know. They know it too. They see him. Okay? And with those, like I said, with Gad, what he did with Gad, Slakia, what he did with Gad, mowed him down, man. You know? Mowed him down. Even us, you know. Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Okay? So he went above and beyond. Okay? So you seen what happened with Gad, right? And when you come up here, you learn about the treaties that they made, and you know what I mean? How do you execute all these, you know, these judgments? He used his sword, that gun, that modern day sword. That modern day sword, Slakia, the gun. Okay? And that was his back, and that was his force. You don't want to do nothing? Get down and lay down. You know what I mean? That's the, you know. So this is his blessing for now. You know what I mean? They don't like fighting hand on hand. You know what I mean? Because they know, you know, more than likely they're gonna be taken out. You see it in society, right? You see how they are. They're cowardly people. So going back into the next scripture here. I mean, you have mighty men amongst all nations, but generally they're a fucking cowardly people, man. Okay? Revelation chapter 6 and verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red. Power was given out to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Okay? Job 9:24. He's ruling this period of time of earth, or in this period in earth at this time, he's ruling. Okay? The rulership was given unto him in the time. That's why it says Esau's the end and Jacob is the beginning that followeth, right? So ever since these slack bastards, you know, since the time, hey, let me get in that real quick. Time of Maccabees, okay? Let's go. Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 9. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves, so did their sons after them, and many, so did the sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied upon the earth. Because we all know what the scriptures tell you. Go to Proverbs, real quick, chapter 29. When these people multiply, transgression increases. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 16. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth, but the righteous shall see their fall. Okay? So by that sword, right, these people have done a great, you know, not even to say a great work or wicked work in the world, but this was their blessing. This was how they were to rule by. Okay? And we see today, like I said, the U.S. got their army, Babylon got their army up in all types of different nations' lands, okay? They're all over the place, okay? Habakkuk chapter 2 tells you, like I said, they're up in every man's land, okay? Ruling with what? With that sword. And the sword is what? The modern day gun. his bombs, all of that. Okay? And that was given unto him. That was a blessing given unto him. And with that blessing, he took peace from the earth. Okay? So let's go into one other scripture too. Could apply this to Israelites, wicked ass Israelites, but this is, going in Esau, Edom, Romans chapter 3 and verse 15. Their feet are swift to shed blood. Destruction and misery are in their ways, and the way of peace they have not known. There is no fear of God before their eyes. Okay? Their feet are swift to shed blood. Esau will drink a coffee and drop a bomb on you. Okay? Remember, if they had something to do, like going to another land or whatnot, and they had an agenda, they're fucking tearing down the whole place, bomb it out. First what they do is create, in the media, lie. This guy's doing this guy's doing that. Which everybody around the world starts to hear about it and they say, oh man, that's bad, that's terrible. Somebody's got to do something about it. Create the problem, create the solution, right? So they'll go in there with their guns and, tear it down, control opposition or whatever they call it, right? They'll go in there, tear it down, set up shop, just for all the minerals they wanted or whatever they wanted within that land, right? But how do they do that? They use that by the force of their gun. Violence, okay? And they don't give a shit. They send in the army. Let's go. So, hey, man, I thought I'd just put that together. This is a blessing for now, man. Right now, we're fishers of men, but we're going to turn into hunters. We're going to have those spiritual bodies. You could have guns inside your bunkers, Gatling guns, whatever. It's not going to work, okay? So that's your blessing for now, Esau. Afterward, that's it for you, man. You know what I mean? Your blessing is going to be taken away from you. You're going to be powerless, So, hey, with that, all praises, all honor, all glory be unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and salutation to Allah Akim doing and pushing this word of sincerity and truth worldwide, and a sincere shalom to the elect. I hope you're edified. Lord willing, to the next time. Abad Babal. Shalom Akim.